Another free Friday tidbit. Welcome back. We are continuing, because it's August, to talk about challenges related to executive functioning, which is one of the big ticket items that we often see with fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, as well as other brain-based conditions. This week, I want to talk to you about one of the most common and most frustrating things that we see is problems with impulsivity, with difficulty inhibiting our responses. So the question is, what is that about? There's a number of brain tasks that underlie our ability to maintain our intellectual focus, but also to align our body's physical responses and the things that we do to keep it in line with what our mental focus is. One of the issues that we have is distractibility, and that certainly plays a part in impulsive responses. That's something that is very common with FASD. Another issue that plays into it is if we are unable to predict consequences from actions, right, to link cause and effect, then there's, in essence, nothing to put the brakes on an impulse, a spontaneous idea. So I liken impulsiveness more to spontaneity than to, and distractibility than to, like obsessive compulsive kinds of things. It's not that people are obsessing on, I want this, I want this, I want this, but the neural pathway that reins in, right, that connects cause and effect, is tricky. It's damaged. So there's nothing putting the brakes on. I see it, I want it, I'm taking it, right? So you might see this play out in shoplifting, for example. I see it, I want it, I'm taking it. Something else that kind of contributes to that is an abstract concept of personal property. If something isn't labeled, then it's not owned by someone. So I'm hoping you can see from this brief discussion that there's a lot of things that are interconnected, a lot of cognitive dynamics that all affect one another and play out. But suffice it to say, your child, your loved one, or you yourself, it just is what it is. It's the way someone with FASD is wired. And it's not to say it's always going to cause problems, because there's workarounds for all kinds of things. There are accommodations for all kinds of things. If part of the issue is that something that's not labeled is up for grabs, then it's running around home with a labeler. If it's an issue of runners, because a lot of kids with FASD are runners, right? So just as you see with autism spectrum, you'll see some parents resort to a backpack with a cord on it so that kids can impulsively scoot off, but they're not going to get, far enough to get hit by a car in the parking lot, for example. Another interesting accommodation around impulsivity would, for running and going and doing something, running to go play or whatever, there are therapeutic, basically service dogs for FASD. They're taught many of the same things they are for working with autistic children, and that is to keep kids from running, literally, blocking them, herding them back home, right? And also applying deep pressure when, if you're dysregulated, then a dog's presence physically on you is very calming. So a lot of things play into this. Let me know in the comments what you think of this, if it made you think of, your behavior, your child's behavior, your spouse's behavior in a new light. And also, I wanted to remind you that on Monday, also, on this channel, on this YouTube channel, you can also get my Living with FASD podcasts. This week coming up is Rebecca Talou. She's often called the coach because she created, in conjunction with FASD, the annual Run Fast 5K. It's a hybrid. So if you want to go to runfast.org, you can, virtually do a 5K on your own, which means actually you can cheat and just make a donation. Or you can, use this as a really good excuse to start getting your steps in. There's like from the 9th to the 17th, I think, you have all that time to get in 5K, which is all of 3 miles. Or you can physically join, you can create a team, or you can join a team if there's one in your location. I will be having my team is Drillers for FASD Fueling Hope 5K, because I happen to live in an oil town. So if you are interested in supporting FASD United and all the work that they do, please go to runfast.org, sign up, right? Do your own thing, join a team, join mine. Come back on Monday and tune into the podcast and listen to Rebecca. We're not only going to be talking about Run Fast, but we're also going to be talking about her book, which is Tenacity. It is a must read for anyone who has adopted kids, because she talks about her journey searching for her first family. And then also how that search is what led to her recognition and ultimately her diagnosis with FASD. So good stuff coming up. Also, my book is coming out sometime, don't know the date, next week, y'all. So be looking for that. I will post the link starting in next week's Free Friday Tidbit. But sip by sip, candid conversations with people diagnosed as adults with fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, FASD. All right. Have a great weekend. I hope that this little tidbit, this Free Friday Tidbit, gave you a new perspective on some of the things that may have been frustrating you. All right. Have a great weekend. Have a good week. See you Monday for Living with FASD. See you next Friday for another Free Friday Tidbit. And hopefully I'll see you on the track doing the 5K. Take care.